Well, let's talk about something that, we have discussed this quite often, which is staffing troubles.
Mm-hmm.
They're everywhere. And why? And when do they stop? And what do we do about it? Well, October recognized as Manufacturing Month, and taking time out of what we know is a very busy schedule is Sarah Hartwick, Vice President of Education and Workforce Policy for the Illinois Manufacturers Association. Sarah, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
Well, I'm good. I'm excited. Like you said, it's Manufacturing Month, and so thankful to join you this morning to talk about it.
Looking at some of the numbers here in the U.S., according to this, there are currently more than 800,000 open manufacturing jobs due to a lack of qualified workers.
Yes. And it is also expected that over the next decade, there will be an additional 300,000 men and women that will leave the industry as the baby boomers begin to retire. So this is obviously an issue that was exacerbated by COVID. And at the IMA, we have some events coming up to try to just learn about those challenges and find solutions.
Yeah, we hear a lot. There's unemployed people. There's job openings, but a lot of times they don't match up to the job openings, and I think that's a lot that happens in manufacturing a lot. I think you have people sitting in at home or kids, thinking about what they're going to do next, and thinking, well, that job would be great, but what do I need to do to get into it? That's where you guys come in, right?
Yes, I mean, there's always going to be a skills gap, and manufacturing technology is ever advancing, and more manufacturers are implementing what they call Industry 4.0, which is very high tech. However, I mean, even if everyone in the workforce nationwide was working, who was able to participate in the workforce, there would still be over 2 million job openings. So we really have a population problem. But at the same time, it's our job at the IMA to build excitement among the new generation about careers in manufacturing, and that it is no longer the dark, dirty, dangerous work of the past. Again, it's high tech, it's sustainable, it's diverse. It's a very, very exciting and well-paying career field.
And, it's funny you should say that. I was talking to a youngerish person, which, I find most people in society are looking that way to me, we talked a little bit about manufacturing, and this girl who had said, I don't know, I don't want to work someplace with 5 dozen smokestacks. And, she's envisioning what it looked like around 1920 instead of what we're looking at today, and it's wildly different in most cases.
Absolutely. And usually Manufacturing Month includes a lot of tours where the school districts partner with manufacturers across the nation to visit manufacturing plants to see what it looks like today. I mean, again, it is so clean and diverse and high tech. I mean, the computer science and the robotics and the automation. I mean, and that's not necessarily all of it, but there really is an area of manufacturing, I think, for everyone, and it's very, very exciting. But the problem is getting that message out there.
Hey, Sarah, we'll get to the event you guys are hosting here in town here in a little bit. But first, how did you get connected with IMA, and how long have you been with them?
So I started with the IMA in April. My history, I spent over 12 years in education policy, focusing on K-12, which is really where you see the interest of career exploration, what kids are learning in school, what they get excited about, and the opportunities to connect that with a career that they're passionate about. I mean, I think that's the long-term workforce goal that we need to be focusing on. And there is such a connection when you see kids. I mean, and I have a third grader. He loves baseball. He wants to be a pitcher when he grows up. I'm from Chicagoland, so I will not say the team because I live in Southern Illinois. My husband's from St. Louis area. So it's a little heartbreaking. However, as a third grader, that's what he's interested in. So how do we shake that up to get the kids interested in working with their hands? I mean, the creativity and the innovation that is in lockstep with careers in manufacturing. That's the message that we have to get out there, and that is just one of my passions, coming from the education background and now just seeing the direct connection with workforce and how we can help.
So we start out by trashing the Cardinals a little bit, and then I steer them toward manufacturing. I like the way you're parenting here.
Yes, sure. Hopefully my husband's not listening.
Yeah, you have to work on that at home, Sarah.
I've tried.
Okay.
Sarah, it's got to be tricky for you when you're sitting around and you're talking to some younger people about, where to go with life and career and all those other things, and how many you have to disabuse of the idea of being a TikTok or Instagram influencer, and find that there are other viable ways of employment that actually, do some good for the rest of society, too.
Absolutely. I mean, manufacturers, they are the backbone of the communities. And the average salary for people in manufacturing today is over $88,000 a year. And to your point, it is creative. I mean, you are creating things that you are then seeing when you drive your car. Every part of that car is manufactured. And Illinois has some amazing products that are manufactured here that I think most kids don't even know. I mean, some pieces of what is orbiting the Earth for NASA was manufactured here in Illinois. Mac and cheese. I mean, you look at Stellantis in the Rockford area. There's so many cool products that I don't know that kids realize the opportunities that are out there. And we make a poster every year, and we're coming up with the new one for 2021. It's a map of the state of Illinois, and it is just a handful of the products that are made in the regions that they're made in. And it's so cool to show, the marshmallows that are made down south, chapstick, Blistex that's made in northern Illinois. I mean, there's so many products that I think kids don't realize, and that is creating things like they're doing on all the social media platforms.
When I was in high school, a couple decades ago, your options after high school, as far as they were explained to me, were, go to a 4-year university. If you weren't really sure what you wanted to do, maybe in that aspect, I mean, you go to Rock Valley. I mean, you could continue your education there. Manufacturing just wasn't on the list of things to do when I was in high school. How are you guys? Are you guys getting into schools and educating that way, or is it just have we seen maybe that shift happen naturally at the high school level?
And your point is well taken. We are in the schools. We're working with the CTE administrator groups. That's my job, is to connect the high schools, the community colleges with regional manufacturers to talk about workforce internships, job shadowing. But you're right, for decades, the focus has been to encourage students to pursue a 4-year college degree. And while that is the right path for some, it's not necessarily a good fit for others. And whatever job you go into post-high school needs some type of post-secondary degree. And manufacturing can fill that gap. They offer the high-paying jobs with good benefits in an exciting career field, but it's also getting that message out there to the parents who may have, the vision of what manufacturing is and the importance of 4-year universities. It's getting that to the teachers. It's getting that to the counselors to make sure that everyone knows what their options are.
Yeah, that's a good point. Who's been kind of I don't want to say harder to entice, but is it the students, or is it maybe the 40, 56-year-old parents or teachers that still have what, like Riley was talking about, the old idea of what manufacturing is?
I think it's a little bit of everyone, and it's really no fault. It's the state has been focused on getting the kiddos to pursuing 4-year college degrees. So that has been a priority for the state of Illinois, and the pressure that many public school districts and all school districts are under. It is the parents, because they still have that vision of what manufacturing is. And again, we had some amazing, really big manufacturing tours that took place in 2019, and COVID obviously put a stop to that. So in this year, it still looks a little different. We're hoping next year it's back, that people can invite the parents to their plants in addition to the students to show them what manufacturing looks like today. And then, you talk about the teachers, and the CTE teachers are some of our best advocates in the schools. But again, the focus of a lot of what the state looks at when they're rating schools and communities as well is how many of those kids are going to 4-year universities, and not necessarily how many of those kids have well-paying jobs and are contributing back to society.
Yeah, and you even have incidents where you've got a kid who doesn't know exactly what they want to be. They're a senior in high school. They're shamed a little bit for not having an idea what they want to do for the rest of their life. And, if you don't know, you should still go to 4-year and, find yourself there. Maybe, you'll find your passion while you're there. As a parent who underwrote both kids going to school, I'm not paying that kind of money for you to go find yourself.
Yes. And I will say, manufacturing does have jobs, obviously, like the engineers that do require those 4-year degrees. But we have a school district in Central Illinois that actually, on graduation, those kids who are undecided, they have all of their local employers with job openings come and basically offer them jobs right after the graduation ceremony, still in their cap and gown. I mean, people are starting to get creative to kind of catch those kids. Because really you want everyone to have a well-balanced life and again, contribute back to society with really well-paying jobs. And so finding those kids and making sure they don't fall through the cracks and showing them the opportunities that exist. Manufacturers and regions across the state are getting very creative in this space.
I think a lot of people listening have liked what you had to say and maybe want to get some young person in their life involved. You guys are coming up north here. You're in Springfield right now, right?
Yes.
So
yes. We're based in Springfield.
You're bringing the crew up north here, and you're doing an event over at Rock Valley College, I believe, on Wednesday. What it gives the details on that, and what do people expect to see when they go to that?
Yeah, so part of the IMA, we also have an education foundation, and we're doing a statewide tour that's bringing together local manufacturers, businesses, economic development organizations, chambers of commerce, education institutions, and to discuss those challenges that the workforce is facing today and identify the solutions. So we're going to community colleges around the state, bringing everyone together, and just learning more about the workforce needs of those regions. You know, we have gone to 4 regions so far. Rockford's going to be our 5th. And it really is different in terms of, you know, some manufacturers have a hard time getting into the schools, and some are just trying to look to identify those older populations, you know, like second chance citizens, dislocated workers, veterans, that may be the focus for their workforce needs, and just really discussing what type of network exists in these regions and what some solutions can be that the IMA will plan to move forward with this spring.
Sarah, before we let you go, for somebody who's just sitting there and they've got a keyboard nearby, where do you recommend they go to learn a little bit more about this, verse themselves a little bit more, and at least open a dialogue?
Yes. So the IMA website is ima-net.org. We have a workforce link, and we also have an education link on that site that will give you some more information, and my contact information is there as well. You know, we're always excited to engage in dialogue with manufacturers and just connect them with the resources that exist in the community, and also just to talk about some of the best practices that other regions are facing.
I tell you, one thing I did notice from that, I don't know if you're sending them the same link that you sent me earlier, Sarah, but at the bottom of that link, 20 maybe videos of people running manufacturing places, just talking about how good this program is and how awesome it is to get the new kids in there. So this is you're connecting with people, and that's pretty awesome.
Yes, those links are amazing. We put that out to our members, and we said, hey, since a lot of you can't get kids into your plants right now because of COVID, why don't you make some content, and we'll put it on our website to show careers and what manufacturing looks like. Some of them are done just on an iPhone, and it's so exciting to hear from, especially the young kids that are in these videos are amazing. And they talk about just why it's so exciting to work where they work and how they feel. And it's so cool to try to just help get that out there. Hopefully next year we have some bigger events, but this year it's been really fun.
Yeah, I don't think you really needed to put the videos down at the bottom trying to talk people out of radio, though. You know, that seemed a little over the line. But maybe I'm just
You can submit yours. Your manufacturing content.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Like
She's Sarah Hartwick, VP of Education and Workforce Policy, and our new friend from the Illinois Manufacturers Association. Sarah, thanks a lot for your time today.
Yeah, no, thank you both.